What's up, YouTube? Alex back from the Blessed Carpenter. Today we will be making the wooden mallet, or the joiner's mallet, or the woodworker's mallet. Yeah. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Free for $1. I'm selling these for $88 on Etsy, and yeah, they're actually selling. So yeah. Today we went to an estate sale and I picked up some stuff for the wood shop out here. I spent a total of $25. Everything was half off today. They had a really cool drill press for $100. I wish I had some more money, but next time, I guess. But yeah, so this is what we found today. At the estate sale, it was 50% off. I spent a total of $25 on these guys. And this is what we got. I got a palm sander for $1. Okay, so this was a cool find. I found this drill bit set like this, right? And I've seen these in a lot of YouTube videos because they're used a lot. I don't know exactly how to use them or what I would use them for. I'm not sure what exact cuts they're for, but I know that I see them in a lot of videos. And then it didn't have the part to like attach it to the drill, and I don't know how they worked. But then on a magnet in the back of a drill press, there was a magnet, and stuck to it was the bit. And then I checked it out and did this and realized, oh, that's how that bit attaches to the rest of that assortment set. So I ran back and found the assortment set and got the bit that the whole thing that I seen, and yeah, that's what I got right there. That 50 cents. I got this file. This file was $2. I got this nail puller, cat's claw, $1.50. Everything was half off today, so if it says $3, it would really be $1.50. I got all of these down from a 3-prong to a 2-prong plug things. I got 4 of those for like $1. This is the magnet that bit was attached to. I got a bunch of spade bits. I got a bunch of spade drill bits. I got all of these for 50 cents. For some reason they charged me like $1 for these pencils. But I had saved so much money on the drill bits and the spade bits that I was like, okay, I'll give you $1 for the pencils. So, and then I got this little cool toolbox with these wire brushes in them. Price is $6, so I paid $3 for this whole little setup right here. I also got 2 wheel casters. I don't know what they charged me for these. 2 wheel casters with brakes. I'm going to put these on the bottom of the workbench so I can pull this bad boy in and out from away from the wall. I was planning on doing that from Jump Street. They're kind of expensive. Oh, these might be too big. Oh no, they're perfect size. Yep, that's exactly what I needed. I also got some linseed oil. I got all of each can of these for 50 cents a piece. Wood stain, some shellac. This is real full. Hellsman spar urethane, water base, clear gloss. And I grabbed this little ruler. This was $3. I don't know why, but I paid $1.50 for this apparently. But yeah, I figured that would be pretty cool and come in handy in some way, somehow in the wood shop. So yeah, this is This is my find for 25 bucks. What do you guys think? Today we are going to be making a wood joiner's mallet. I seen in one of the comments somebody said that I needed a mallet for my chisels, so I didn't break my chisels, and they were absolutely right. And this is probably my favorite thing that I have ever made ever in my entire life. I love it so much. It's so, I even wood burned at the Blessed Carpenter. It's so light. It fits like a glove. It's so dense. I made this completely free out of pallet wood. I'll show you guys that here in a second. This is actually just the 4x6 blocks that you find spacing between the pallet. So you know this part of the pallet, the end where it's all, these are the blocks that were in the middle, and that's my mallet head. You know? It's all free pallets. So, yeah. We have lots of mallet heads to choose from. These are the in-between pieces of the pallets. So I have this whole stack that we're going to go through and choose from. So I have selected the piece that we're going to use for the mallet head. Usually you would want to use a really hard wood, like oak or something like that. But since I'm using this out of free pallet wood, I'm just going to be very selective on the block that I choose. So the block that you choose when you're selecting your mallet head, you're going to look at the end grains of the wood. Now when you're looking at these end grains of the wood, you see how the grains flow through like this? Now the density of the wood is determined by the space in between the rings of the wood when you're using a wood that has rings for growth. So let me see if I can get the focus on this. When we're looking at the wood, you want to pay attention to the space between the rings. You want something nice and tight. And then you also want to look to see if there's any knots in the wood. You can see where the closer you are to the middle or a knot. A knot means that's where a branch grew out, or yeah, that's where a branch grew out. So the inside of the wood had to be really focused on putting all the energy right there to make that branch grow out. So it makes the wood really dense right there. So even if you're using a soft wood, you can find a really hard spot by finding the knot in the wood. So this one, I got a knot right here. It's running pretty much right through the side of the block. It's you can tell the color difference, how it's a little darker in there. I know this is going to be a hard piece right here. And the wood surrounding on the inside is going to be a little harder. And also I got another little knot. I got a couple little knots in there that you can see. And I'm going to use this because this is a hard chunk. So yeah, this is measuring at 6 inches. This is 6 1/4 by, let me do it like this so you guys can actually see. Like I have some sense. 6 1/4 by 3 9/16, so 3 1/2 and 3 1/2. So yeah, this is going to turn out to be a great mallet right out of this, and I'll show you guys how to make it in the process. And for the handle, the same thing that we made the sword handle grip protector out of, this little 1x2. That's what I'm going to make my handle out of for the mallet. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to take this piece of wood and we want to completely square off everything on it. So we got to decide what's going to be the top and the bottom. I really like this piece right here being on the side, kind of. But this is way more cleaner. And I could put this on the bottom and hide it. So I think I'm going to put this on the bottom and hide it. This will be my bottom. This will be my top. And these are going to be my sides. So what I need to do now is mark a spot completely where it's going to be my handle guard, or where my handle is going to go in. And then I'm going to drill 2 holes, bam, bam, and then take a chisel and chisel out the inside for my handle to fit through. Now my handle, I'm going to make out of, this right here. This is just 1x2 that I took off of a pallet. I'm going to cut this down to 14 inches. So let's do that real quick. If I can find my tape measure. What do I do with the tape measure? Oh, it's right here. So I'll measure this at 14. Take my speed square, measure this down to 14, and then I'm going to take this over to my table saw. I'm taking this stuff inside with me, so that's what I got over here. I'm going to use my miter gauge. It's already set to a 90 degree. If you want to check your miter gauge to make sure it's set to a 90 degree, you can use a speed square and just set it right up to the blade. Set it up to your gauge. As long as there's no gap, you know that you're straight. So, yeah, I know I'm good. Now, I'm going to cut this. Make sure there's nothing in your way. Clear the table to make sure you're nice and safe. Okay, now I like to gauge where I'm going to be exactly. Now you want to make sure you set your saw to the opposite side of where your line is. That way you're not cutting into your 14 inches. You're cutting on the opposite side of your pencil line. So I like to make sure that my saw is on the opposite side of the line. And I'm getting ready to go. Now we had this cut at 14 inches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one side and I'm going to go in, I believe it was 1 3/4 inches on one side. And then it's going to taper down to 1 1/4 inches on this side. So this side is actually going to be a 1/2 inch less wide, I guess. Not wide this way, but wide this way. Or I guess, yeah, wide this way. So it's going to be 1 1/4 inches on this side, 1.5 inches on this side. So when this is going in, it's going to taper up to catch. And then it just naturally catch. Now the difference between what we're making with this and a lot of the wooden mallets you'll see on Etsy is that what they're doing is they're cutting the wood into 3 pieces and then they're gluing them together in the end. This is a solid wood mallet. This is way better. This is going to last way longer. That laminate, it's not going to last a lifetime. In 50 years, it's going to come apart. The wood glue and all that's going to separate. This right here is going to just last forever because it's a chunk of wood stuck on a stick. So, and these are selling for more expensive than those fancy looking glued together ones on Etsy. These are selling for $150, $200. I'm selling for $88 all day. And yeah. I just made my first one. I put it on Facebook and was just very proud of it in a woodworking group, and they started selling on that, so I added it to the Etsy page. Yeah, and we're gonna make a video on how to make an Etsy market. I'm gonna start one over from nothing, and we can restart all that, and we can do this journey together as a group. I'm gonna teach you how to sell all of these projects. So yeah, stick with me. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to take this down from 1.5 inches to 1.25 inches. I'm going to make these screws right here, because this is used wood, be the bottom end of the grip, so it's not putting pressure on it when I'm putting it through the mallet head, so this doesn't condense and squish any lighter. So this top part right here is going to be my 1 3/4 inch part. So 1 3/4 inch. Let's go from this side. 1.75 down to 1.5 or 1.25. So we got 1.75 down to 1.25, and we're just going to use a straight edge. And I'm going to use just another fresh piece of wood as a straight edge, and we're going to mark this line. Not like that mark at all. I'm new to this, guys, so I'm going to make some rookie mistakes. Everything's not going to be perfect, but as long as you take your time and you like your finished results, that's all that matters. So there goes my line, and you can see how I'm kind of like wedging this out right here. I don't want to hand rip this, and I don't have any saws really that handle this well. I don't have any nice blades for my circular saw or anything. So I'm going to do something you're not supposed to do, and we're going to use this. So I'm going to freehand this. You're not supposed to do this. This is not the safe thing to do, to make these kind of cuts with a table saw, but honestly I think I can make any kind of cut with this table saw. It's just so easy to do. So if you guys have any tips or any other suggestions or reasons why this is a super bad idea, please tell me, because I'm a rookie and I really do not know, other than the fact that your fingers get really close to this thing, but I'm going to try not to let that happen. So now, for some reason, when I make these cuts, I do notice that there is a lot more dust and a lot more, I guess, particles shooting at you. Like, look at my shirt from this. It's ugh. So I do wear an apron when I'm out here. I forget to put it on a lot. And then you're gonna want to wear your PPE for these cuts, like your safety glasses. I'm wearing glasses and I still just got a lot of dust in my eyes, and I can feel me breathing in all the dust. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the dust mask and all of that good gear right now. Okay, so I got the mask on so I don't breathe in the dust, and we are going to go back to the table saw. Man, my glasses are fogging up with this dust mask on. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't think I'm going to be able to wear the dust mask because it's too cold out here right now, and that's not going to work. It's going to stop my vision. I really need my eyes for this cut. So that's our cut, guys. This is what we're looking like right now. So it's 1 3/4 up here, 1 1/4 down here, and I can file this all the way down. This is what the edge looks like, kind of terrible. But I got the belt sander, so we can also go right here, bang, and we can belt sand this guy right on down and take care of any of the issues that we have on this side. So before, and there's point of contact everywhere along that board for where it touched the sander, so I know that that's a flat piece again. And I guess just for cleanup's sake, let's get it nice and smooth down, so that way it'll slide into this mallet head nice and easy when that comes time to do that. That's feeling like a really good mallet handle right there, baby. Yeah. That's looking like us right there. So yeah, you can really see the definition in the transition now from the 1.25" up to 1 3/4. And as we slide this down this block, if this block hole is done correctly at like 1 3/4 down here, inch and whatever, we're going to put this up like this, and then we're going to mark it. And that's going to give us the dimensions of our actual hole that we're going to make. So I'm going to set this up like 1 inch or 1.5 inches above the block, because as we go, as the weeks go, a couple weeks later, this could shrink and cause a space, which will then remedy the handle and usable. So we are going to put this like this, put this like this. The first thing we're going to do is square everything off. I want to put a center line through the entire block, both up and down. So let's do that first. Okay, so 6 1/4, so that's 6 5/8. I like this this Woodworkers protractor I got the other day. So 6 5/8. Okay, so that's good that way. Now alright, so this right here is marking dead center of this. See that little mark right there? That's what we're doing. Now I'm going to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. That's a 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 and 2. Nothing right there. Okay. This side is only 3 1/2, so it's going to be 1/8 off of the other side. But as long as I mark it center on both sides, we're good. So 3 1/2. So there goes 1 1/2 for 3, and then we're going to go. That's 4/8. Or no, that's 8/16. So we're going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. Okay, now that is dead center square in the middle of our block. You guys see that? We put that mark right there, and that's our guide. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow these 2 lines all the way around the entire board, because I'm going to put center on my handle too, and you're going to see how that correlates to how we put the handle in it. That's how you make sure it's dead center. So I'm going to follow these all the way around the entire block. Alright, now you see how that wraps the entire block? That's my line of center around the entire block. Now I'm going to do the same thing going this way. Oh shoot, that one was way off. That's not good. The rookie mistakes I'm talking about. So this one was a little off, but as long as I don't go by that line on the left, I'll be okay. This is my line going around this block this way. And that's how we're going to do our center our grip. So we're going to put our handle, we're going to do the same thing we just did with the block. We're going to put a line right down the center, and then a line right down the center around this entire thing. Alright, so there goes that mark.
And right here, 1, 1, 2, 3. So half, 1, 2.
That's my line right there. Now, once again, I use this long board. You see how I did that? I put a line right down the middle. Now, when I line this up like this, I put this line, well, it's going to have a line there, so it'll be able to line right up. But when I'm sticking over an inch, that's going to give me my direct, exact dimensions for each side on the bottom and the top for how wide that hole is supposed to be. So everything will come out perfectly. I'm just going to keep going around this entire board and find the line of symmetry on each. So... Alright, now you see how we got that going all the way around the entire thing? So now when we line this up, like this on top, what I'm lining up is to make sure these lines right here on the other side, I'm going to measure this like 1.5 inches up. Let's measure, go ahead and measure that right there. 1.5 inches down. So here goes 1.5 inches. Oh wait, that's the 1.5 inches. Will be right there. So now we're going to put this block. I marked it at 1.5 inches. That's 1 inch on the top mark. The bottom mark's 1.5 inches. We're going to set this block just like that. Bam and bam. And that is going to give us our exact measurements for, you see how I got that like that? It's all lined up on the line. So here, I'll do it like this and I'll take a still picture for you guys so you guys can see what it looks like all lined up. So in the middle of the chiseling process, my SD card on the camera filled up and I had to go in and put it on my computer. And this is my first time using this computer or using a camera ever in my life, really. I've always used a phone. But after making a half-hour video on the last thing I'm making, the sword, the old Android I was using filled the storage, and then when I tried to back it up to the PC, I learned that it's so old it can't connect to a PC. So to continue doing this, I had to buy this $35 camera. I'll show you guys all this in a different video if you'd like, but long story short, my memory card got full, and there was and when I downloaded all the videos, I just started editing this video, and there was a section that said that it was corrupt file and that I couldn't download that part of the video or upload that part of the video. So I'm going to walk through as best as I can on a part that's already a little done. So we're backtracking a little bit here, guys, but you're going to catch right up here in just a second because it's all good up until this one point. So we're just going to do this real quick to show this part of the video. Alright, so I'm going to freehand this part of the video. Now I have these lines all lined up around the block, right? And I lined up the lines around my handle center around each block of wood. So what I'm going to do is line up my lines perfectly, and then I made my 1.5 inches, and this is my 1 inch mark. So I'm going to put this up to the 1.5 inch mark, and then I'm going to put my line right on the line. That, and then this is going to line up on this side, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark bam, bam, and then the outside, I'm going to mark the outside as well, bam, bam, with a pencil, and then rotate this block. You want to rotate it. So you got to make sure that you are aware of what part is your bottom and what part is your top, because you're skinnier down here and it's wider up on top. So you're going to rotate it to where the same bottom and the same top, and then you're going to put your lines, line up your center lines. Make sure that you're on your 1.5 inch mark, not your your 1 inch, but your 1.5 inch mark. And then you're going to line your lines of symmetry up. it would help if I quit turning the video on and off and actually hit the focus button. So you're going to line it all up just like that. And then you're going to mark it up. Once you have your marks on both sides, because you rotated your block, right? Okay, now once you have your, let me put my glove on. It's supposed to be negative 20 degrees below zero tonight where I'm at. So it's really cold out here right now. So once you have this your negative, I'm thinking of the negative degrees. Once you have your bottom and your top and you've made your lines on your block, bam, 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 and then you've rotated it and made those lines, bam, 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 you're going to have two little markers on each side. Now it's time to take your square or your ruler or whatever you're doing, and you're just going to mark your lines across like that. Just like that. And then you're going to do it on the bottom side as well. Mark your lines across, bam, bam. And that's going to give you a square in the middle. And that's going to tell you how wide it's going to be coming in the top and coming in the bottom when it's sitting at 1.5 inches deep. So then you're going to take your part that's going like this, and then you're going to set it on top like this. And then you're going to mark the outsides like that. And you're going to do that on both sides. You're going to put your line of symmetry, bam, bam. Make 2 holes. Going down, bam and bam. And I marked my drill bit where it would be halfway. You can see my mark on my drill bit. I just took a Sharpie marker, put it down the block, and seen where halfway would be, and then I marked it. So I know to go to this mark on my drill bit. And I'm going to go to that mark on my drill bit. And then after that, I'm going to take a chisel and clear it out. So yeah. And that's where we're at with it. So I'm just going to hold this in between my feet. I'm going to drill this down just like this. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see. Alright, flip it over. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Oh, my battery's dying. Now we're just going to take the rest of this out with, that's what it looks like, and we're just going to take the rest of this out with the chisel. Alright, so I'm going to start off with a 1/2 inch chisel. And start working my way in with that. Just breaking up the wood, and then I'll go in with a 3/4 inch and put my bevels in. So, first time I get to use the new one I made. You're going to want to go away from your mark. You want to keep clearing out the wood too, because it really needs somewhere to go. So I had to take the drill and clear that hole out a little bit just so we can have, let me see if we can see through this thing at all. A little bit. We're getting there. And you just want to take a little bit off at a time. You don't want to go crazy and take a big chunk off because you'll split your stuff and break your head. So the video actually ran a little longer than expected. I apologize for that. I'm going to cut this one right here and we're going to call this part 1. Part 2 is going up right now, so come to the channel, like and subscribe. It's up right now. Follow part 2 for the rest of the video, and that's the end of the mallet video. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time. Thank you so much for all of the views and the subscribes and the comments. I really appreciate all the feedback. I had no idea I would get any kind of response whatsoever. I thought for sure I'd be sitting at 0 views for the entirety of the video. So thank you so much for actually responding.